Hi, my name is Shota.
And I'm Amber.
And welcome to the Kotatsu Club Podcast.
Where we talk about all things Japanese language and other stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
And today,
Look who's here.
we have Kree.
Hi!
Who are ya?
My name's Kree. I'm from the channel Honey Kree, and I do a lot of Japan life stuff.
So anyway, Kree, I thought today we could talk about life as a full-time content creator in Japan because Kree is actually my coworker. And we both work as content creators. So Kree makes the shorts and reels, and I make the YouTube videos.
Right.
And so yeah, Kree, how's life as a full-time content creator in Tokyo?
It's great. It's honestly my dream job, to be a content creator in Japan, and also I get a visa through it, so that's nice.
What do you like about it?
I really like the freedom to create. That's really nice. I love making reels and just making content. It's very fun. It's like a creative process. And also I get to work with my friend Amber, so actually Amber helped me get the job.
Yeah, well, we were hiring a second content creator, and they were like, do you know anyone? And I was like, I think I know someone. So Kree actually was an English teacher first.
Were you?
So,
Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay.
For about 4 years, I was an English teacher.
Did you like that?
Oh, yeah. I loved it.
She likes everything.
I enjoy living in Japan.
Yeah,
But you enjoy content creation more.
Yes,
Okay.
I definitely enjoy content creation more. It's more of a creative outlet. But my school was so good to me. They were so, I felt like they were my family. So it was actually, kind of hard to leave because I was, so, I loved
Attached
them.
to them?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Kree
great.
also had, a very special experience because she got to work remotely as an English teacher.
Well, yeah, partially. So when I first came to Japan, I was working at a school.
Yeah.
And so, it was really fun. And that was before COVID hit for about maybe 9 months.
Okay.
And then COVID hit, and the
Okay.
school had to go online. And then they had to get rid of the school, which was really sad.
Wait, they had to get rid of the school?
Yeah. So, because we were in a building and there were many classrooms and stuff, it didn't make sense financially because the school was so small.
Right.
And students were leaving because of COVID. And because a lot of our students were also older, they didn't know how to use a computer, so they couldn't do the online lessons.
Like that old?
Yeah. So I had students from maybe 6 years old to 90 years old when I was working there.
6 to 9?
90.
90?
90.
Yeah, I had
Okay.
the same thing when I was an English teacher.
Really?
Yeah, because it's at Kiowa.
Ah, okay.
An
Yeah.
after school at Kiowa. So.
I find, so you always get mixed experience, stories with English teaching in Japan. Some people, hate it and had horrible experiences.
Yeah.
And some people love it. I always find the people who love it always worked at Eikaiwas because, I loved mine, you loved yours. I know you...
I didn't.
But, I feel like you talk to a lot of people who are English teachers in Japan or have been.
Yeah.
And, you seem to hear more negative stories. I think
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
you were surprised when I told
really?
you I liked my...
Yeah, no, I was very, I am surprised right now. You know?
Oh.
Yeah, because I thought you were
Really?
yeah, I hated it. But,
I
I
loved
don't know,
it.
I've been meeting a lot of people that, hated it. But my sample size isn't that great, so it's just an anecdote, but,
Yeah,
it's
it's
great,
not
though.
for
It's great you
everyone.
loved it,
I think it really depends also on your personality and how able you are to adjust.
That's true.
Because I had a coworker who didn't like
Oh,
it as
really?
much. Yeah, and it was because she didn't really fit with this. Her personality kind of clashed with the people who run the school, so it was very difficult for her.
What was her personality traits?
I mean, it was mostly the biggest thing that I noticed is that she didn't really pick up on when someone didn't want to do something, but was doing it because they couldn't say no.
Right.
And that is something I see a lot is it's hard between Americans and Japanese people sometimes because if you don't say no, then you want to do it, right?
Social cues are massively different between countries, right?
Yeah, so I think that was hard for
Her to okay.
Yeah.
No, that is very, very surprising for me. Because, the way I see it, a lot of people talk about, teaching English as more like a stepping stone into Japan, right? So, I don't know. I'm just, glad to hear that, y'all
not
liked
all
it,
terrible.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, teaching in itself is a very fulfilling job if you take it seriously.
Yeah.
I think so, too. And I think you should take it seriously. Even if you are coming to Japan, to teach English as a stepping stone,
Mhm.
it's going to be at least probably a year of your life.
That's
And
true.
you want to enjoy it, one, for yourself, but also, like, you are being entrusted with the education of either, like, kids or adults who are paying for the class, like, and they deserve a good English teacher.
Yeah.
So, like, you should really try your best.
I think there are a lot of
Touched.
English teachers who, or people who come to Japan, who come here for Japan only and don't think about the teaching part. And what happens is they don't really like teaching. They like Japan. They don't really like teaching. So then they end up hating their job. And yeah, I just see a lot of them like getting drunk
Yeah.
and like just like not.
Coping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Copium.
So
as they say.
because it's the only easy way to come to Japan, I think there are a lot of people who end up in that kind of trap.
Yeah.
I think especially in Tokyo, too. Like,
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people in the countryside, like,
Mhm.
they usually, like, are more excited and open. I think it's about being open, too, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think if you just go in it with a positive mindset, and also remember that you are, like, doing an active service to teaching, like, you're
Yes.
helping people, like,
That's
reach
true.
their educational goals, their language goals.
Mhm.
And I think if you go in with that mindset,
Mhm.
where you feel useful,
Yeah,
it could
and
be,
you're-
like, a better experience for you yourself. It's like, oh, like...
I loved my jet teacher when I was growing up.
Oh,
You know?
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was from Jamaica. You know. She was only there for like a year, but like
Oh.
yeah, she was very cool. So yeah, like I think it's like an impactful. You know.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Was she, like, funny, or, like, what did you, like...
she was hella funny. It's super funny. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So, like, think of it. Like, Shota is 32 now. Sorry to...
Hey.
Oh.
Hey.
We've talked about it
Hey,
before.
I'm,
Cut that out!
yeah.
He remembers his jet teacher from, like, how many years ago? 20 years ago? So, like,
don't do the math, please.
So you can, like, actually make an impression, like,
True.
lasting impression. Like, people
Yeah.
might remember you.
How do you guys get into content creation, like from that then?
I know. Well, I feel like we should, even before that question, get into, like, Kree's origin story about, like, how she came to
Oh, yeah.
Japan.
My origin story?
Yeah, like, why did you come to Japan? When did you first become interested? How did, like, you apply for the job and stuff?
Or which state were you born in?
Yeah, okay,
We don't
we'll
have
go
to go that far.
back to the beginning. I was born in Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's known for online for being quite lame, but it's quite lame.
At least it's known.
just cornfields
That's
everywhere.
true. That's true. At least it's
True.
known.
That's
you
true.
know?
Yeah. At least
Nobody
you don't have
knows
to explain,
Wyoming.
like, oh, like, I'm from, I don't know, what's an unknown state?
Idaho.
Idaho.
But
Yeah.
nowadays, I remember one of my students asked me, it was like, why does everybody
Anybody watching
online-
from Idaho? Idaho's a great state. You know, it's got great potatoes. You know,
But we feel your
Boise
pain
State. Hell yeah.
that you have to explain where you're from.
That's true.
At least you
Yes.
don't have to explain. Like, oh, Ohio, that lame place.
Oh my god.
No, I actually had a student ask me, like, why do people keep saying, like, normal day in Ohio on TikTok? And I'm like,
It's a thing. It's a
Well.
thing.
this is hard to explain.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to that. So basically, I came to know about Japan through my grandma. My grandma used to have exchange students from all over the world.
Mm.
And when I was growing up in very formative years, maybe 3, 5, and 7, my grandma had Japanese exchange
5 and
students.
7, what happened to 6?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say no. I wasn't gonna
6,
bring
there was
that
a lady
up. But...
from Germany.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So that was kind of-
okay. So
So
those
that's-
specific
didn't like
years.
those
Okay.
specific
Yeah.
years.
Oh, okay. I was like, why did you skip 4 and 6? Like, you got a problem with like an odd number or something?
No.
German culture doesn't resonate
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Kree.
Yeah.
But that had like the biggest impact on me. Like I was a very chatty kid, and I always wanted to play with
Yeah,
the
we know.
exchange students.
We know.
Like the Japanese exchange students when I was a kid would always play with me and show me like, oh, this is like how to write your name in Japanese. This is
Oh.
how to do origami. Like they
Yeah.
would be so hands-on with me and play with me, and my grandma would even be like, you don't have to play with her.
Really?
So
Yeah.
weird.
and they would play with me all the time.
Oh.
And like that like really had a big impact on me as a child. I was like, oh, Japanese people are so nice. I want to go to Japan.
I think too, as an exchange student, when you're like, maybe you can speak to this, like if like
Oh,
you
yeah.
have a little kid that wants to talk to you in English,
Mhm.
And play
I didn't
with you?
play with them.
you did.
I play. I played football. You know,
Mm.
like I was.
Okay.
I was
Do
too busy.
was there any kids who were like wanted to play with you and like?
Yeah. Okay. So we had so like I lived on well, we talked about this a couple episodes ago, but like I lived in foster care family.
She's a crazy story.
Yeah,
We'll listen to that.
crazy.
yeah. So we had a 8-year-old boy. Like we played like catch and stuff. You know.
Oh,
Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah,
Cute.
yeah. But I didn't know how to talk.
But you
so.
weren't interested in like. So I think it's easier. Like for me, when I'm talking to Japanese kids, like I understand. I can understand them. They can understand me, and it's like kind of like they don't have the social programming yet to hold back and like speak to you any differently.
That's
than they would
true.
speak to
That's
anyone
true.
else.
Yeah. So that's
And
Kree.
so yeah, I think yeah, like Kree was that kid who helped with English, and I'm sure they remember you like years later.
I actually met up with 2 of them while living in Japan.
Ooh, you have to
Did
tell
you
that
really?
story.
Yeah. So one of them is from Okinawa, and she used to send us like packages of like Japanese goodies when I was a kid.
Oh my
So
god.
I met up with her.
Maybe.
Maybe
When you were like 3?
yeah, I was maybe when she was there, I was like 5. But yeah,
Wow.
and so I came to visit her in Okinawa because I knew she lived in Okinawa, and I was there, and I wanted to see the American Village because I was a little homesick, and I was like, America. But yeah, America. But yeah, and it was so nice. I got to meet up with her. We chatted. We went to the aquarium together. She
Oh
drove
my
me
God.
all around Okinawa.
The big aquarium?
Yeah,
Like up there, no?
Charumi aquarium.
Something like that. Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was so much fun, and it was so cool. Just like meeting up with her. We met her husband and stuff.
Right, because so how old was she like when she met you? Like 17, 18, somewhere around there?
Somewhere in high school.
High school,
yeah.
right? So like she got what, like 15 years on you?
Yeah.
So that means I'm not gonna get into any math, but she's probably in like her like late 30s, maybe like 40s. So like she's married and kids and everything.
She didn't have kids. She doesn't have kids, but she is married.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one, she lives in Tokyo. So I met up with her and her daughter.
Wow.
Oh my god.
And we went out and at that point I didn't know like much Japanese, but her daughter would like help me. It was so cute.
So your grandma had exchange students.
Yes.
So how did moving to Japan happen from there?
Yeah.
So it's actually like an interesting story, or like kind of complicated, but basically like I kind of forgot about it for a while.
You forgot about us?
I just like I had other things that I had to do, and I went to college for engineering, but when I was in college for engineering, I got like really depressed and like I don't like what I'm doing every day. I kind of hate this, and I was like just miserable most days, and I was like, is there something that I can do to improve my life? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then I was thinking back to like, if I could do something, what would I want to do? Because I'm not doing what I want to do right now. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this because I feel like I have to.
I'm doing it for my family.
Well, like my family doesn't need it. You know what I mean? Like, they don't. There's no reason I need to be an engineer, right?
Yeah, I think she was just like meeting her parents' expectations.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like someone else's going after someone else's goals, someone else's dream.
Right.
Yeah. So
it wasn't your passion.
Yeah. And then I was just thinking like, what do I want to do? What does Kree want to do? And I was like, I want to move to Japan.
Just like that?
Yeah, I was like, when I was a kid, that was like the main thing I was really interested in. And then I'm like, besides that, I'm like not that interested in other things. So,
wow.
And then I was like, okay, I need to be a teacher to get there. So let me first really try out teaching to see if it's something that I can do and I'll be happy in. So I actually taught for like 2 years before moving to Japan.
2 years?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I really liked it.
Oh, so you... because you liked it. Okay.
And also because when I was in college, I had to finish my degree. I still had 2 years left.
Right.
So, like, I needed to set my life up so that I could feel ambition to completing my degree. Because you need a degree to go to Japan, right? Yeah. And also set my life up so that I could, like, see a future where I'd be happy. So
okay. Wait, did you have to like change your degree to major to
no, I stayed in engineering because I was already so far in, I just needed to finish it.
Okay.
But I motivated myself by knowing like, okay, I'm going to do something that I really like. I just have to finish this, basically.
Right. Oh wow. Okay.
So being interested in Japan and then like wanting to move to Japan is like I feel like two different things.
Yeah.
So like what made you want to move to Japan? Like were you watching YouTubers at the time who lived here? Like what made you like I didn't even consider that moving to like another country was like a thing when I was like in college.
So for me, my grandma always had exchange students, right? They would live with us for like a year. And so I always wanted to live in Japan because I wanted to do what they did.
Right.
So very easily I made that connection where I was like, but my parents always told me, no, you cannot study abroad.
Really?
Yeah, they were like very like,
Yeah, my
anti-studying
parents
abroad.
wouldn't let me go as well.
Anti-study abroad.
They were like, they can come, like, we can have
But-
foreign exchange students and you can experience culture here with us. We don't want you to go away.
But I guess like from like parents' perspective, like sending out your daughter to like one country
so
is a
far
big
from
deal.
here.
So far
Yeah.
from
Scary
yeah, okay,
for
yeah,
them.
yeah.
My parents didn't even let me have sleepovers.
My parents didn't even, go to America.
I think it's a normal thing in Japan,
You're
though.
middle child, you know.
I think a lot of people in Japan do ryugakusei to like study English.
Yeah, like it's in a positive light, generally,
Yeah.
for sure, yeah.
Whereas I think in the U.S. it's more of like, who's doing that? Like, I don't know anyone.
But she's going to Japan though, like
I knew no one like, in my
from
life.
Ohio. For God's sake. Sorry, anybody from Ohio? I lived in Southern Michigan. I got you. Like I like Ohio.
But yeah, I think like for me, I met one girl. I think meeting her actually kind of like is what motivated me to move here. She was teaching English in Taiwan, and I went to visit her. It was when I was in my early 20s, and I was like, how is she living here away from her family? Like, doesn't she miss them? Like, I couldn't fathom that someone could do that. But then I think it planted some seed that allowed me to eventually make that move.
That's so
That's
interesting
cool.
though. Like you were like
Right?
so far away from the idea of like
it wasn't a
relocate,
concept in my mind that it was even possible.
and like that's like
yeah.
what you've been doing for so long now.
Yeah.
It's like a big part of your identity now.
For sure.
Crazy.
I definitely like wish I found it sooner, but I am happy I eventually got there.
That's okay.
Okay, so
And then?
so Kree,
Yeah.
you decided you wanted to move to Japan. You were in
Yes.
college. You graduated. What happened next?
So I applied for the JET program and I got waitlisted.
Mm.
So that was
It's
really
pretty competitive though, right?
yeah. So I did all the interviews and stuff and I got waitlisted. So I was pretty sad about that. But then I found a few other kaiwas I could apply to. I applied to
How did you find it? Yours.
just searching on Google.
What did you Google?
I Googled, I think it was just like English teaching job Tokyo. Because I really wanted to move to Tokyo.
Okay.
Is
And
there any like particular reason that you wanted to come to Tokyo?
It's
Or
just because that's what you see. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's what
yeah.
I'm like when I was a kid. I was obsessed to the point where I read like every library book that they had on Japan.
wow.
I would look at maps of like Tokyo on the books and just be like, oh, I want to go there. I want to go there.
Wow. Okay.
So like I knew Tokyo better than any other place. Like in my head, so I felt like more comfortable
So
going there.
it was more natural for you to wanted to go to Tokyo. Okay.
Yeah. And then also just like easier. I lived in the countryside my whole life.
I know.
Cornfields everywhere.
Yeah, I think you ended up wanting the opposite of what you did. Like, I lived in
Right.
a Tokai my whole life, so I was like, please give me some rice fields. Like,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I hate driving too, and that's why Tokyo is perfect for me.
You
So,
don't like driving?
oh, I hate driving. I'm so glad I don't have a license anymore.
Were you stuck here in Tokyo then?
I guess
She's from
so.
Ohio. She's from
Yeah, she's from
one
Ohio.
state which is weird. Okay, so one good thing about being from Ohio is like,
One good thing.
is if you want to drive in Japan, you can switch your license without having to take the driver's test. You just have to fill out paperwork.
Oh, it's alright.
There's like 3 states where that's allowed. It's like Ohio and like 2 other random states.
What?
New York City, where you have to be a skilled ass driver to survive, does not qualify. So I have to take the driving test, which is insanely difficult and insanely expensive. So
I just let mine expire.
she just let hers expire.
Wait, like what are those
My
3
soul
states
just
though?
left my body.
Do you know?
I don't remember. I know
But
Ohio's
Ohio's
one
one
of
of them. Is it
Yeah.
true?
I don't know.
It is.
I don't care because I never wanted to drive.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I have a friend from Ohio who did it. When in Ehime. She was in Ehime.
Oh,
Okay.
that's cool.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So naturally you were like drawn to Tokyo then.
Yeah, because I was like, I do not want to drive to
Right.
cornfields again.
No.
I don't think they have cornfields here. I think
Maybe
it's
up in
Rice
Hokkaido,
fields.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was
All
why I
right.
picked Tokyo.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and then do we have anything else? I think.
Yeah, so like you were Googling now like English teaching jobs in Tokyo and then
Oh
what
yeah,
happened?
yeah. And then I just randomly, like, I was just scrolling through Google. Probably like 5 pages down, I found this like school, and I was like, this looks like a really small school. I think I want to try this one. And so I clicked on it, and it looked they had a form I could fill out, and I had to write 2 handwritten letters. I had to send pictures of me playing with kids.
Oh my god.
And I had to do like
Where'd
the whole
you get
application.
kids? Like where'd you get kids?
Yeah.
Oh,
Would you?
So I grew up in a family where I have 13 cousins.
Oh,
So I have
cousins.
tons of pictures
She's
of
from
me.
Ohio, after all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I have tons of pictures of me playing with my cousins, and they're all younger than me. I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, like, everyone is, like, 10 years younger than me, basically.
So you had to write 2 pages about what?
Basically, I just had to be, like, talk about, like, my family and, like, why I want to come to Japan and, like, about teaching. Just about, like, kind of like a welcome letter to them.
Okay.
That's wild.
Yeah. It was very interesting. I had to send pictures, letters, and do the regular applying. And then I had 3 interviews, 2 over, like, Zoom.
Yeah.
Or not Zoom, whatever was before that.
Skype.
Skype.
Yeah.
And then I had to have a phone call. And they made me, like, spell words and sing the ABCs.
Oh my god, that's so
Over the
awkward.
phone?
Yeah.
But why not over Skype?
Because the older gentleman was the last person to interview me. He'd been working at the school for
He
maybe
doesn't know video.
30 years.
Video chat.
Or 40
Wow.
years. He was
So he's
the
old.
boss level. Boss
Okay,
level.
boss level.
But he doesn't know how to use video at that point.
So he just like call you up and hey, you know, like
Sing the
yeah,
ABCs.
sing the ABCs.
I left class to go in the hallway, and then it was like sing the ABCs. I'm like, okay, A B C D.
Oh,
That's
that
so
sounds
funny.
like it was low key almost a scam. Like, thank God you didn't get murdered.
Well,
Wait,
they tried.
it wasn't? It wasn't a scam?
I feel like a scam would be less thorough. You know what I mean? Like they were very like very thorough about everything, and it was just like all I don't know. I kind of liked it though because I got their reasoning for it afterwards, and they were like, yeah, like we want to know, like, can you be a performer a little bit? Can you step out of your comfort zone and really just
Can
like
you though?
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
content creator.
That's true.
I go out and film stuff
That's
all
true,
the time.
true.
That does make sense actually, because that's kind of what my company hired for as well. Like when I was an Eikaiwa teacher, I had to do an in-person interview, and they were basically like, they gave us like teaching material, and they're like, I'd study this and then like teach it and like do a demonstration. And I was like, okay. And they're like, just so you know, like we are hiring for personality. We're seeing if you're friendly, if like kids will enjoy the lesson, if you can entertain them. And I think that kind of makes sense. Maybe why a lot of English teachers want to be content creators too, because like we are kind of performers.
We are.
Like
True.
yeah, I do feel like I gained a lot of confidence too from English teaching because you're standing up in front of a class in front of people, like
you're public
speaking and
speaking, right?
entertaining.
Yeah.
It helped me so much. I was so shy before I moved to Japan.
Really?
Like I feel like I got less shy because of English teaching and because of talking to the camera all the time on YouTube. So
I would say teaching is more, like more pressure than even having a camera. Because you can film a billion times.
yeah,
That's true.
for
If
sure.
you're in front of people, you're just like hoping that they receive
understand,
you well,
yeah.
that they like you, you know?
True.
And if you mess up, they see it.
Yeah. Okay, so you sang the ABCs on the phone, like the 1990s. And what happened next?
I got the job, and they were like, yes, you can come
Was
to
it like
Japan.
right after you sang the ABCs?
No. Wait, so that's the job you end up with?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going. I'm sorry. I have to make sure.
Yeah, that was the job I ended up going with. So then they're like, okay, you can come to Japan. And I was like, cool. And they set me up with an apartment. They set me up with everything. I didn't have to worry.
So it was like legit.
It was legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like a scam wouldn't go through that many.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of hoops and a lot of really particular things.
I still think it was.
I don't know.
I'm just
Maybe
kidding.
I'm...
I'm just kidding. So, but it turned out to be a great workplace, though.
It
right?
was amazing. I would say that it was a very fun experience, and I really enjoyed doing it, especially when it was in person. I actually liked the job a little less when it left in person.
Oh, when it wasn't in person.
Okay.
Because I felt like I really connected with the students.
Yeah.
And it was like, when you're sitting in your house all day, you know, it gets quite lonely, especially living in a different country.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you came here, you got an apartment, you started teaching. How long did you do that for?
I did that for almost 4 years.
Okay.
And so...
What? Oh, how long have you been here for?
5.
Oh.
I've been content creating for almost a year.
Oh, you've been here for a while then.
Yeah. As senpai, my Japan senpai by 1 year.
Right. Oh, right.
Yeah, because I came here
never
right
occurred to
after
me
I...
that, like, she's been here for longer than you.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm here 4 years. She's
Yeah.
here 5.
Okay. So you did that for 4 years.
Yeah.
And you made that pivot.
Yeah.
Because of Amber.
kind of because of Amber, but also, so when it was COVID, I was doing teaching online, and I was like, I like this, but I don't like doing online teaching that much, and I was thinking maybe I wanted to pivot to like a YouTuber kind of thing. I always liked YouTube videos, and like I thought, why don't I try it? It's COVID, I have nothing to do, it's hard to like meet people and do things, so I'm just gonna start making videos. And then I started making videos.
How do you guys know each other? I don't think I've ever asked.
So the same way I know you, Kree also slid into my DM.
I did.
Okay.
I was like, Amber, you're so cool.
Oh, so you reached out to her?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I guess Kree had just moved to Osaka, and I was making YouTube videos in Kyoto at the time.
Okay. So you guys were both Kansai foreigners.
Hey, like, I make content, and I want to make friends here. Let's hang out. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, let's hang out. And we did, and the rest is history.
Yes.
Okay, so, and you ended up hooking her up with the current job.
Yeah, so basically we were hiring another content creator, and I asked her if she's interested. I didn't think she would be interested because she literally just moved to Osaka. That's where I met her. And I had just moved to Tokyo. Yeah, we met in Osaka.
All right.
Yeah, she lived in Osaka.
I did live in Osaka.
For like a brief
Crazy.
amount of time.
Crazy.
I had just moved to Tokyo, so I didn't think she would want to move back to Tokyo.
Right.
I miss Tokyo so much, actually.
I mentioned the job to her, but I didn't expect
All right. So,
her to, like,
So
interested.
you were in Tokyo before.
Yeah, so when I first came to Japan, I was in Tokyo. I was in
I
Tokyo
remember.
for about a few years. So I was in-person teaching, and then I was online. And then after I became online, like, I could kind of do teaching from anywhere. Right?
So you moved down to Osaka.
So for like 6 months, I moved down to Osaka.
She crazy. Crazy.
And then I met Amber, and then she told me about the job, and I was like, actually, I miss Tokyo, so I'm just
So
gonna
you
go.
just said yes?
Yeah.
To that?
Of course. It's like my dream. Well, it's like my dream job, basically, because I was kind of like tired of online teaching, and also you don't make a lot of money. Like, I actually do enjoy teaching quite a bit, and I still do it.
But it's not like a well-paid job.
No, you can't.
I mean, it can
make
be.
a career out of it, really.
Yeah.
It's really hard to make a career out of it. And
There's
it's
no
like,
moving up, really, unless you like go to get your master's and professor.
I mean, I was the head teacher at that school.
Ooh.
After 4 years of being there was nowhere else for me to go. I guess I could have been the principal. That would be the next one. But it still is not much of a pay raise.
Right.
It's a very small school.
Right.
And also, just like in general, teaching doesn't have a grade.
Well, you never know, like you could have like asked people to, like sing you ABC song over the phone. If you like, continue doing that.
Yeah.
Sing it.
Yeah, sing it for me right now. I don't care if you're in class. Sing that shit. I'm sorry.
Sing it out loud.
Sing it out loud.
It's funny. Actually, the funniest
that could have
thing-
been you.
That could have been me.
Yeah.
That could have been me.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I just wanted to pivot. I think, like, also, it kind of gets to you, too. A lot of people, when you tell them you're an English teacher in Japan,
You get that look.
they, like, it's
like
amongst the foreigner community, I feel it is quite stigmatized. Like, people's like, oh, you've been doing that for 4 years?
Is there something? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. There's
It's
definitely
really a thing.
stigma.
And, like, I would have people, and it kind of got to me a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because, like, I did like it, but also doing it online didn't feel as fulfilling. And then also just, like, they added kind of stigma to it. And I also was enjoying creating quite a bit. And that's what I wanted to do since I was young. I mean, everybody wants to be a YouTuber, right? You, like...
These days.
Yeah.
These days, yeah.
You watch YouTube all the time. You want to be a YouTuber.
Pretty much,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, I think this is Kree's story is a good example of how, like, if you want to come to Japan and, like, pivot once you're here, I guess networking is the thing. Like, also don't be afraid to reach out to people.
Yes.
Like,
Right.
if Kree never reached out to me, like, we wouldn't have become friends and I wouldn't have, like, offered her
That's true.
the job interview. So I think, maybe this is a good story for anyone who is interested in coming to Japan. Kind of wanted to teach English, but maybe not forever.
Most of my friends that I've made is through sliding into people's Instagram DMs.
That's how we connect these days. I think
Yeah.
it's the easiest way to make friends, especially in
Yeah.
Tokyo. Where
That's
it's, like,
true. That's true.
Because you already, like, kind of feel out the personality, too, which is nice. So you, like, feel like you can connect with that
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And then it makes, like, it really easy. When you just meet people randomly in the wild, there's a very low chance they're gonna have anything in common.
Yeah.
That's so true. I never thought of it like that, but yeah, that makes sense.
So I always like reach out to people who I like. I'm like, oh, I like their vibe. I think we would get along well.
Yeah.
Especially like content creators, because you have you have that thing in common where you're like both creatives and you both want to make stuff and like
that's more likely to share like same kind of like struggles and like fulfillment and stuff like that.
Get each other.
Yeah.
We honestly do though.
Yeah,
it's like it's hard, right? Something.
But anyway, I think that's maybe it for today. Do you have any other questions for Kree about her Japan journey and like teaching, becoming a content creator?
Well, let's just have her again, in the future.
Yeah, we need more time next time to talk about.
Next time I have so many
opinions.
I'd love to talk about you guys. It'd be fun.
All right, well, definitely have her on again. And make sure to check her out at Honey Kree.
Yep.
Also, watch my weekly blog that she's in. So
yay.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.